Stay tuned for the biggest fish, the hottest bites, this week here on In-Depth Outdoors. With James Holst and Pat McSharry and the rest of the IDO fishing team. We're headed to the best fisheries across the upper Midwest and Canada. We'll fish longer, explore unfished bodies of water, and go further off the beaten path in search of the hottest bites in fresh water. This is In-Depth Outdoors.
Welcome to this week's episode of In-Depth Outdoors. I'm Pat McSharry, and we're finally past that major cold front that swept all the way across the Midwest and Canada. And let me tell you, it was a doozy. We film every single week, Monday and Tuesday, and we searched all over for options on where to go, what to do, and really only one thing made sense, and that was to head to Green Bay and fish with Paul Delaney for whitefish. And Paul has skid houses out there on the bay, and even though the conditions were brutal, all we had to do was get there, we had a warm house to set up in, and we were able to catch some fish. So this week, it's Paul Delaney and I catching whitefish on In-Depth Outdoors. Who ordered the snow?
We ordered some last week. This is enough.
Nice.
Yeah, he was circling. Didn't spook that other one out of there though.
No, he's circling him. Maybe I can get him to...
He was doing circles around him. I just paused it, just let it sit on the bottom and boink.
Yeah.
You know, the camera's a great tool. You see a lot, you learn a lot. But for me, it's kind of frustrating seeing the fish all around your bait and they won't bite.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah, a little bit better than that first one there. Go.
Well, he's got it pinned right in his front lip.
You can see him on that camera. He just kind of tipped up there. And so that's that little 1/8 ounce, that Storm Wild Eye Swim Shad. And it so very much imitates the gobies that are down there. And that's primarily what these fish are feeding on down there. Those gobies live in those rocks and in those zebra mussels. So they're just rutting around on the bottom there, and they just peck those gobies right out of the zebra mussels there. So that's what we're trying to do, is imitate those gobies that are on the bottom there, and just wait for the fish to come by and pick them up.
Nice.
A little bigger than that last one.
Yep.
Yeah. Here we go.
All right, let's get some more.
Let's do it. There's one, Pat.
You're schooling me.
Another one just pecked it right on the bottom there. You know, every day you got to kind of figure out, match the mood of the fish. You know, some days they're in big piles that are pretty aggressive. When you get those 1s and 2s, then they're kind of more investigating. They work around your bait a little bit more. And so once you know, if you see them down there on your electronics and you know they're there, I try to change the jigging cadence just a little bit, and just sometimes pausing. And but oftentimes when there's a bunch of fish there, then there's competition. You know, they just come in and grab it there. But I think this was another one where we just had one single fish in there, and I paused that bait, and there he was. There we go.
Hey.
There we go. Well, I'll tell you this, Pat. I think, you know, you and I are both using the same bait, a little bit different color.
That's the baby bass.
That's the baby bass. You've got the yellow perch on, and I think one more bite we might have to switch over to the color there.
Yeah, we'll see. I guess we can figure out if it's my jigging cadence or if it's the color.
Sometimes it's how you wiggle the worm. But another nice whitefish right there. And this morning, since we've been out here, we haven't been seeing a lot of them down there. It seems like they come in 1 or 2 there. So our jigging presentations have been a little bit slower. We see them on the screen there, so we're slowing them down, actually giving them pauses. And these last 2 fish that I caught actually picked it up on a pause, just laying it on the bottom there. So hopefully they'll start coming in here and we can stack them up pretty good.
Hey man, I'm just glad I'm not outside right now.
There is absolutely no way we're fishing outside. It's brutal out there. 30-mile-an-hour winds, snow. All right, put him back. Okay.
StrikeMaster introduces the new Lithium 40 Volt. Everything you've ever wanted in an ice auger. With a 40% increase in cutting speed over the competition and up to 100 holes per charge, the Lithium 40 Volt has the power and stamina you need and a 2-amp rapid charger that can bring a fully discharged 40-volt battery pack to a full charge in as little as 2.5 hours. The new Lithium 40 Volt, only from StrikeMaster.
Otter, the leader in quality and innovation, is opening doors with the release of the all-new Crossover Series ice shelters. All crossover shelters convert from traditional front door entry to convenient side door entry and back again in seconds. Otter, the toughest, strongest, smartest, and now most versatile shelter on ice.
From the first time you pick up a tuned-up custom rod, you'll know you're holding something special. A rod not mass-produced, but built one at a time by the hands of gifted craftsmen. Rods like the Precision, ice fishing's most versatile multi-species rod, or the Precision Noodle with a tip so sensitive you'll never fish a spring bobber again. And the Commander, the rod that's never met a big fish it couldn't best. Tuned-up custom rods. Ice rods handcrafted for you and the way you fish.
This winter, set a trap for your next trophy with iFish Pro. Ideal for all species, iFish Pro is an innovative fishing system that allows an angler to use their favorite rod and reel instead of trying to manage the fish hand over hand.
There's a flag right there.
Complete your ice fishing arsenal with iFish Pro, tactical ice gear that puts the fight back into tip-up fishing.
Look at that.
Find iFish Pro online at ifishpro.com or at your favorite sporting goods retailer.
We got a big different color out for you.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, that was one, Pat, where I didn't feel him bite. I was just kind of just lifting it, and it just went slack on me again.
Did it?
Yeah.
He came up with it?
He picked it up without me detecting that one there.
I'm reeling in.
They're just a ton of fun. They're just a great fish, and
They got a good fight to them, it looks like.
They are. And today we're in 45 feet of water, and there's times where we fish these fish in 70, 80 feet of water, and so you have to be careful because when these fish are coming up, what they're actually doing is just sort of shaking their head back and forth. So the longer that you have them on that deeper water, in that 70, 80 feet of water, you run the risk of those fish popping that hook out of there. So there we go. A little smaller than the last one, but Pat, I think we've got a color thing going here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're cool fish.
Yeah, you can see that's that small wild eye shad, but once again, it just really mimics those gobies on the bottom there. All right, Pat, well, we'll put him back, and hopefully
he wants back.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see some of those bigger ones. They will. We've been getting some pretty nice fish in here, so let this little guy go.
Big old shiner minnow.
See you, buddy. A little trick that we've learned over the years, watching these fish feed on these gobies and watching the gobies on the bottom, they don't have a swim bladder, so they can't swim around in the water column. So what they do is they sit down in the rocks and in the mussels, and they just kind of scatter around a little bit. And they have their head kind of poking up. So when those whitefish are swimming around, they're looking and they're feeding on those gobies head first there. So what I like to do when I'm tying direct to these, I like to push my knot forward. And that knot being forward on that guide there, actually when I'm jigging that bait, it actually lifts the head of the bait up as opposed to the whole bait being lifted up horizontal there. So I think that's an important little tip there, whether you're using this bait or any other bait, maybe a jigging rapid, jigging shad, something like that. We like to tie direct, push that knot forward so that that bait is lifting itself head first there. So that's what I got there. And just above that, about 8 inches, I'm running a barrel swivel, obviously just to prevent line twist. And then I run about a 5 or 6 foot leader of fluorocarbon. This happens to be a 5-pound test, Suffix fluorocarbon, the ice fluoro there. And then I've got that tied directly through a double uni knot to a braid. And I feel that braid is also very important, particularly when we're fishing in deeper water with a lot of current. What happens is you get a big bow in your line. With that big bow in your line, you're really not going to be able to feel as well those little bites where those fish are just pecking at it there. So that the braid helps eliminate that bow, gives you much better sensitivity for feel and for hook sets there. So with the lines, I've got a double uni knot there, tying my 832 ice braid to my fluorocarbon. And then my rod setup here, this is running on a 32-inch precision tuned up custom rod, and I've got that on a CMAR 10 Okuma spinning reel there. So it's a real well-balanced rod for this type of fishing. You want to have a rod that's not going to have a lot of squish, a lot of give to it. You want to have something there that's going to be sensitive enough to be able to feel those bites, but be able to get those good hook sets there and have enough forgiveness for those fish when they're bouncing back and forth. You don't want to tear the hooks out of their face. So for me, this is a great setup for the whitefish here. It's a 32-inch precision from Tuned Up Custom Rods. That 832 braid, putting that knot forward on your baits there will really help increase your amount of fish that you can catch out here. There he is. It's all just a matter of time. I knew it's coming.
It was a little bit more of a subtle bite than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's every day is different. It's just adjusting to how they're biting for that day and getting a feel for it. You get 3-4 fish under your belt, it all starts to come together.
I've done some whitefish fishing and tulipy fishing, but it's always been inland and it's suspended fish.
Totally different deal when you're on the bottom. Yeah.
Yep.
Looks like a decent one.
Yeah. There we go. There we are.
Yeah. Pretty similar to that last one we just got.
Yep. 16-incher or so.
Yep.
Same color that Paul's using. There we go. First Green Bay whitefish right there. Getting back.
See you, buddy.
And we're pretty fortunate right now that Paul had these skid houses out here because it is not nice outside.
There is absolutely no way we could be out there. I mean, it is an absolute whiteout blizzard, blowing 30, probably gusts of 40. Temperatures around 10 degrees, which is about 20 degrees warmer than it was yesterday.
Right.
But it's just so bad out there. But once we get in the houses here and button them up, we're fine.
Oh yeah. So. No, it's plenty cozy in here now. We looked at a bunch of areas to go to on Sunday when we were trying to figure out where we were going to go, and this huge snowstorm that's coming through is pretty much going to wipe out the whole Midwest. So this just made a lot of sense to come over here and sit in the warm, hard-sided shack and catch fish.
Spend a lot of time moving around out and about on the bay in my otter, and I love it, and we're very comfortable out there, but today's just one of those days where if something is going to go wrong, it can go wrong bad. So this was a great option for us, and of course got a number of these out here. So today we'll take refuge in here and enjoy fishing together, catch some whitefish.
Absolutely.
Lithium Shuttle, only from Markham Technologies. Okuma Fishing Tackle offers a complete lineup of reels for the die-hard ice angler. The Okuma Samar 10 and Inspira 20 are a perfect match with your favorite panfish or walleye ice fishing rod. Both feature a long stem handle that fits comfortably in a gloved hand. Cyclonic flow rotor technology that throws water off the reel to minimize ice buildup. And a drag system optimized for use in extreme conditions. Everywhere, every day, every fish. Okuma Fishing Tackle is inspired fishing.
At Aluma, we make the longest lasting, most dependable enclosed trailers on the road today by building quality our competition just can't match. Our all aluminum construction gives you a heavy duty but lightweight trailer that can handle your tough hauls. Aluma trailers are engineered for ease of use with you in mind. All backed by our unbeatable 5-year warranty. Work or play, get there. With Aluma, we're in it for the long haul.
I could see what you mean by that, how the bites are. You'd almost be better off not even looking at your flasher.
Sometimes it's just nothing. Just get into a jigging cadence and watch your rod. And, yeah, there he is. You know, it's just once you're used to doing it a certain way, it's hard to, you know, like, just hard to do it differently.
So as a guy that's never done this before over here, it did take me watching him and then just catching one or two before I could figure out exactly what that feeling is. You know, a lot of times they're not really pecking it off the bottom. I mean, sometimes they are. Sometimes they're sucking it right in and eating the whole thing, but it's almost like they bump a little bit of slack in your line and then you just kind of come up on them a lot of times.
Exactly, and I say it so often. It's very important to have a right setup, right rod and reel and all that, but it's just developing a jigging cadence and feeling for anything different, you know.
There we go. Pop him off. Great big shiner minnow.
Yeah. Pat.
Alrighty, they're biting now.
You are not going to get the better part of me here. I'm going to be right with you there.
Well, I still got a long ways to catch up though too.
Feels like a little bit better one.
Is it?
It's probably going to be one of those 18, 19. It's a totally different head shake to him.
Yeah.
Here he comes. There we are.
Yeah,
he's got some shoulders on him.
Yeah, he's a fatty.
You bet. There we are.
Oh yeah, nice fish.
Yeah, that's a nice one. This is more like what we've been seeing in this spot here the last couple days. A lot of those thick ones. He's pushing 20, 19 or so.
Yep.
But a great fish. Be a good one for you to take home with you.
Yeah. I'll catch my own.
I'll
get them.
We'll put this one back, but we'll wait to get a couple big ones like that. Yeah. All right, Benny. Thanks for playing.
They're pretty lean without that tail.
They need it. They can't swim hard without it. But yeah, it's another nice one there. It's a little bit bigger than those other ones that we've been catching, and that was just one of those where I just felt slack. I never felt that fish bite. I was just doing that jigging cadence, and he must have picked it up when I had a slack line, and when I went back to feel it, it wasn't there. Set the hook, and he was on it. There he is.
Must be a little guy.
No, he's gonna get bigger.
Well, it took me a little bit, but I think I'm finally getting the hang of this.
Oh, for sure. And we're starting to see the presence of more and more there.
There he is. Just a little guy, a little guy. Still fun. Pop that hook out. Get him back down.
In-Depth Outdoors, Spot on the Spot ID.
On this week's Spot on the Spot ID, we're going to be talking about how to target whitefish on Green Bay. And after talking to Paul for a while, really the depth ranges that you're looking to target are going to be anywhere from that 40 to 80 feet of water, and high spots are what you're looking for. This is Larson's Reef right here near Sturgeon Bay, and I'll just zoom in a little bit to try and explain what we're targeting. So here you have a high spot. It runs all the way the length of this, tops out at about 20 feet, and on the edges here, it dips way down, clear out to 80 feet on the edge. So this is basically your target range. I got that highlighted in green. That's 40 to 80 feet. Now what he was telling me is when it's cloudy outside, those high spots up here, even up on top where it's still 38, 40 feet of water, if it's cloudy, there's not a lot of light penetrating that snow and ice, these areas can be really good. Now if it's clear, sunny, really bright down there, those whitefish tend to go out off of that shallower water and hang out in that deeper stuff. more 70 to 80 feet of water. So that's a general guideline on how to target these fish out here on Green Bay. And one other thing, the reason we're targeting these high spots and not, say, just going off the shoreline break is there's a lot of rock on these offshore reefs, and they're full of zebra mussels, and that's where the gobies are this time of year. Those gobies are out there rooting around, and so are the whitefish chasing after those gobies. So if you're headed out to Green Bay, make sure you follow these guidelines. I'm sure you'll have a bunch of success out there chasing whitefish.
Brandel GM in Aiken, Minnesota's only haggle-free Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC dealer, is a proud sponsor of In-Depth Outdoors TV. Our Brandel value price ensures that you don't have to spend your entire day haggling to get a great deal. And every new vehicle comes with our exclusive gimmick-free lifetime powertrain warranty. Whether you're in need of service, sales, parts, or body shop repair, stop by our state-of-the-art facility in Aiken or visit us 24/7 at brandelgm.com.
Offering features not found on any other underwater viewing system, the Quest HD from Markham Technologies offers a vivid 7-inch widescreen display, Sony camera, and the ability to send video to a TV over HDMI in full 1080p. The Quest HD offers on-screen display of direction, temperature, and depth. This season, get your eyes below the ice and see what you've been missing on the big screen with a Quest HD underwater viewing system from Markham Technologies.
That's another one where it was gone. It was slack.
Looks like there's another one down there. Let's see if
There
I
is,
can
see if we
double
can
this
double
up.
it up. It's interesting when we're that close to each other there with double fish on there. You just don't want to have one run into the other one there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, yesterday it was we caught fish, but it was a tough slug at it.
Well, it's kind of the first, I mean, just like last week, you know, it's mid-January, the lull is here, you know, it doesn't seem like whitefish get affected too much by
Not so much, but
that, but
I don't know if I've ever seen minus 20 degrees in my truck and pulled into the parking lot the other day. I was like, boy, oh boy, you know, make sure that machines keep running, that we're
Yeah.
bundled up. You don't want something to go wrong on the ride out there, you know.
right.
But once we got out to the houses here and heated them up, we're fine. But that was some pretty cold stuff. So it definitely affected the fish. And I think it's going to affect anything that's alive. you
Oh,
know.
right.
Well, the other thing, Pat, is I think it's about 12 degrees colder down here than up on the bench. So I'm coming back up.
Yep.
That one, there you
oh,
go.
yeah, that one.
Good job.
That one cracked it.
Nice. They're starting to come in here now. Good job.
That one hammer timed
I
it.
like it. I like it.
Just that sharp whack.
Yep, you just do a little pause and it's on the bottom and they come in and bang.
Yeah, this is
Like a
not.
decent one.
We had big plans that maybe the ice was going to form on Superior and Duluth there. And this wind blew it all out, I guess.
See, that's, you know, same thing out here in the big water. I mean, it can be really, really cold, but you add that wind into it, it just makes it a mess. That's a good
there's
one,
a
Pat.
nice one.
I bet.
Slide him out.
He's a 20.
Yeah,
He's a 20.
there we go. And you can see that bait there. Paul's got that figured out. They're
Yeah.
eating those gobies and just shaking that thing down in the rocks, giving it pauses, and they're slurping them up.
You know, and there's a lot of ways of catching these fish. We've done it multiple different ways over the years, and but this is just so much fun with how they hit the baits. They just hit them so much more aggressively as they would like a small little jig with a wax worm on it or anything like that. Of course, you can catch your fish, but they really just want to smash these things.
Right. I think that one's gonna go in the smoker.
He's a nice one.
Yeah.
Perfect.
All right. Get back down there and get another one.
Yeah, it's fun. You know, it's just getting that cadence going, and you know, once you see the fish there on the Markham there, and you know they're there, you don't want to get too aggressive. Just kind of work it a little slower and some pauses, and it's a ton of fun when they hit it on the pause.
Yeah, and what Paul's saying is really you're fishing these baits right on the bottom. So you're not actually seeing your jig move up and down. And the whitefish are keying right in on the bottom as well. So all we're really seeing when those fish are coming through is just a little bit of a red bar that just kind of flickers in and out. And that's letting us know that the fish are here, the fish are around, and get ready.
You betcha, yeah. Because once they're there, what they're really doing is just doing circles around the bait. And sometimes they'll circle that bait 3 or 4 times before they decide to bite it. So when you do see the presence of a fish there, you don't want to work that jig too aggressively there, otherwise you'll swoop the fish out of there. If I'm not seeing any fish on the electronics, I'll lift it up a couple feet just to try to get the attention of fish that might be off to the side there. And then once you see them in your cone angle there, then you can begin to slow that presentation down. There he is, look at that. Not gonna let you catch up to me, Pat. Keep this even here.
Keep an even lead.
Still think you have me by a couple. A little bit smaller guy. Oh, there we go. Pretty consistent though. They keep coming through, and
oh, yeah.
They're there right by you right now. Putting him back so I can get another one. Oh, did you get a good hook in that one?
See if I can stay tight on
I'm
this
sure
one.
it's the same fish. You just put that back down there.
You get into this late January, early February, the whole ice belt does get pretty tough for game fish everywhere. So like you said, this does provide a lot of good action, and there's still a lot of fun to catch.
Yeah, they certainly are, and you know, it's really become a popular thing here.
Yeah, guys travel from all over to come here and fish them, don't they?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Pop him out. That one was a good hit.
Oh, it certainly was. You just missed. I'm sure it was the same fish, and he probably just came around, did a circle around, and came back.
You can hear them burping up those gases there, so he's able to swim right back down to the bottom. That's going to do it for this week's episode. Paul and I had a bunch of fun out there chasing whitefish, braving the elements, and if you're wanting to get in on a great whitefish bite, make sure you look him up. It's lateeyesportfishing.com. One other thing, if you haven't gotten signed up for the Brandel Dream Trip giveaway, a chance to fish and film an episode of In-Depth Outdoors with us, make sure you go to our homepage, look for the Dream Trip giveaway icon, click on that and get yourself signed up. I don't know where we're going to be next week. I'm just glad that this polar vortex has passed us. So until then, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
For more info on the latest fish reports, gear recommendations, and hottest techniques, connect with us online at indepthoutdoors.com or follow us on Facebook at In Depth Outdoors. And if you enjoyed today's show, be sure to let our sponsors know.